Your phone buzzes, email notification, text message, news alert, calendar reminder, Instagram, YouTube. The person next to you is talking. Music plays overhead. Traffic hums outside. A plane passes by. When did you last experience actual silence? Not just quiet, silence. Most of us are drowning in noise, and we don't even realize it anymore. Our nervous systems are maxed out. Our attention is shredded, and we've forgotten there's another way. The Japanese have a word for this other way: Seijaku. The stillness and solitude that brings tranquility. Not just the absence of sound, but something deeper, something you can feel in your bones. And once you experience it, you realize what you've been missing. So how do we get it back? How do we find silence in a world designed to be loud? The Japanese figured this out centuries ago. They built it into their spaces. Hi, I'm Josh, and here at Shizen Style, we dive into Japanese aesthetics, wellness, creativity, the arts, etc. And if these are subjects that interest you, I encourage you to sign up for my free newsletter, Shizen Style Weekly, where we go deeper on these kind of topics that inspire your growth and creativity. Walk into a traditional Japanese tea room. The walls are bare. The space feels almost empty. Your footsteps sound different here, softer, more deliberate. This emptiness is intentional. It's called ma, the meaningful pause, the space between things. In traditional Japanese architecture, silence is built into the walls themselves. I remember sitting in the Ryoanji Rock Garden in Kyoto. 15 rocks arranged in raked gravel. Tourists came and went, but something about the space demanded quiet. People lowered their voices without being asked to. Children stopped playing. The garden taught silence without saying a word. In Japanese aesthetics, what you leave out matters as much as what you include. A painting with empty space. A haiku with only 17 syllables. A room with a single scroll. This principle, yohaku no bi, the beauty of empty space. Western design often fills every corner. Japanese design knows when to stop. You can apply this anywhere, though. One corner of your home, one surface that stays clear, one wall without anything on it. These become breathing spaces for your mind. Another place to find silence? Inside sound itself. When I play the shakuhachi, the Japanese bamboo flute you've heard in some of my videos, a lot of the traditional Zen pieces have a very strong emphasis on mai, or the space and the interval between notes. Beginners want to fill every moment with sound. They're afraid of the gaps. But the silence between the notes, that's where the music really breathes. Listen to that space. The note ends, but something lingers. The silence amplifies what came before, and it makes you anticipate what's coming next. Traditional Japanese music understands something Western music often misses. Rest isn't the absence of music. Rest is part of the composition. The composer John Cage studied Eastern philosophy and learned that the purpose of music is to sober and quiet the mind, thus making it susceptible to divine influences. His most famous piece, 4 minutes and 33 seconds. That's 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence. The musicians don't play a single note. The music is whatever sounds happen in that space. A cough, footsteps, the air conditioning humming. The audience becomes the composition. Now, this is obviously taken to the extreme, but you can practice this. One meal without background music. One car ride without the radio. One walk without earbuds. Just listen to what's actually there. As a photographer, I'm always chasing light, but I'm also chasing silence. Not silent places necessarily, though those help. I'm trying to capture that feeling you get when time slows down, when the world exhales, when the noise in your head finally stops. And this is both something that I'm searching for. I'm trying to quiet the noise, and I find that some of the best pieces that I produce are when I'm lost in the moment and I'm not hearing anything, but I'm hearing everything. I'm aware of everything. Have a look at this image. It's a deep, foggy photo. No horizon line, no context, just form emerging from emptiness. When people see this photo, they tell me they can feel the quiet, the cold, the stillness before dawn. They can hear the silence. Photography is a loud medium in many ways. Everyone shouting for attention, bright colors, dramatic action, but some of the most powerful images whisper. They make you lean in closer. Getting these shots means waiting, a lot of waiting. I'll arrive somewhere hours before sunrise, set up my camera, then just sit. At first, my mind is still in the city, still planning, still listing things to do, still noisy. Then the forest wakes up slowly. Birds start singing, light shifts through the trees, and somewhere in that waiting, my breathing synchronizes with the rhythm of the place. You become part of the silence instead of an intruder in it. The Japanese call this Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing. You're not just looking at nature, you're a part of it, you're absorbing it. Let it reset something inside you that screens and schedules have worn down. Here's why this matters more than ever. The average person today is exposed to 10 times more sensory input than someone living a century ago. 10 times. Notifications, traffic, music, conversations, advertisements, screens, the hum of electronics, the ping of messages, the scroll of feeds. I get it. For a lot of this, we're thinking that we need this in order to socialize with the outside world. But in reality, turning it off, sometimes we can get closer to real nature and reality. Our nervous systems weren't designed for this. We evolved in environments where the loudest sounds were thunder, waterfalls, maybe a predator in the brush. Long stretches of quiet were normal. They were expected. But now, quiet feels abnormal, almost uncomfortable. We reach for our phones the moment we're alone. We turn on the music in the car. We keep the TV running in the background. We're afraid of silence because we've forgotten what it feels like. I've noticed this when I've taken a few people on photography walks in nature. The first 20 minutes, they're restless, checking phones, making conversation, and filling the space with words. After a while, something begins to shift. Their pace slows down. Comments become less frequent. They start noticing things. Moss on a rock, light through leaves, their own footsteps. They start remembering how to be quiet, and they realize how exhausted they've been. So here's the solution, and it's simpler than you think. Seijaku isn't something you achieve once and keep forever. It's a practice, a muscle you strengthen. Small moments that add up. In Zen Buddhism, there's a concept called moksho Zen, silent illumination. You sit, you breathe, you let thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them. You're not trying to stop thinking. That's impossible. You're learning to not be pulled around by every thought that appears. My morning practice is simple. Before I check my phone, before I start working, I make some tea or coffee. Not quickly, but slowly, paying attention to each step. This small ritual creates a pocket of silence in my day, a barrier between sleep and the flood of demands. A reminder that not everything needs to be rushed, that I can choose stillness. You can practice Seijaku anywhere, eating a meal without music or podcasts, walking without earbuds, sitting on your porch as evening settles in, making your coffee in the morning without scrolling. These aren't special meditation sessions. They're just moments where you give silence permission to exist, where you stop filling every gap. And here's what happens. You start noticing how much noise you are carrying, all the mental chatter, the constant planning and worrying, the internal commentary on everything. Silence reveals all of that. Then slowly, gently, it begins to dissolve it. You realize the noise wasn't helping. It was just loud. Here's the beautiful paradox. When you become truly quiet, you hear more, not less. Sit silently in a forest. At first, you hear nothing. Then your ears start to adjust. Birds call. There's wind in the branches. A stream you didn't notice before. The creak of trees. Your own heartbeat. The forest was never silent. You were just too loud to hear it. In photography, there's a technique that I really love to use. It's called long exposure. You leave the shutter open for seconds or minutes. Moving elements blur. Water becomes silk. Clouds streak across the sky. But stable elements, rocks, trees, buildings, they stay sharp, clear. Silence works the same way in life. The constant noise blurs. The temporary things fade. Only what's essential remains visible. This is why Japanese aesthetics prizes simplicity. Remove everything that doesn't matter, and what's left becomes impossible to ignore. The Japanese concept of ikigai, your reason for being, your purpose, your reason for getting up in the morning, is often found in quiet moments, not announced with fanfare, discovered in stillness. Japan has the highest life expectancy in the world. There are many reasons: diet, community, movement, but I believe silence plays a role too. Chronic stress kills. Noise, constant stimulation, endless demands keep stress elevated. Your body never fully rests. Research shows that even 2 minutes of silence can lower blood pressure and heart rate more effectively than relaxing music. Silence doesn't just feel restful. It's physiologically restorative. The blue zones, regions where people live longest, share interesting characteristics. Yes, they eat well and move naturally, but they also have built-in quiet time, afternoon rest, evening walks, meals without rushing. They've never abandoned silence for convenience. The photograph I mentioned at the beginning, the one where you can hear the silence, I didn't plan that shot. I stumbled upon it. No destination, no agenda, just walking, breathing, and being quiet. Those type of images appear because I'm moving slowly enough to see them, present enough to recognize them, still enough inside to capture stillness outside. This is what Seijaku offers, not escape from the world, deeper engagement with it. You don't need to move to Japan. You don't need a meditation practice or a photography hobby. You just need to turn down the volume occasionally. Step outside, put the phone away, sit with yourself. Let silence show you what you've been missing. The noise will always be there, waiting, but so will the silence. The question is, which one are you feeding? If this resonated with you, I share more about Japanese aesthetics, photography, and nature on my website, shizenstyle.com. The word Shizen means nature, natural, spontaneous, living in harmony with what is. Until next time, find your stillness.